person of consequence, where you find, say, during the Gen Z process that we see, there is an order that was given by somebody because a police officer appears to maintain order because there is an order that has been given by the seniors. The time a police officer goes to the armory, it's an order to take that gun and a specific number of bullets, and it's written down to help even with investigations later. But here today we are seeing the taxpayers, people of Kenya, are being forced to pay for recompense for crimes that were committed by an individual. Why do I bring that? Because we've created a culture where we will go and commit crimes and we know taxpayers will pay it. We have never really gone back to command responsibility on individual basis where the police officer who gave the order take responsibility for the crimes committed to individuals. That the 2 billion we're talking about today, which should be paid by individuals who gave the orders that committed the crimes that we see today. Would you reckon that if that is then the move going forward, that individuals will take note that these will come to bite me because the order emanated from me? That if the president gave the order that he said in public that the 2 billion shillings is being paid today should come from his pocket, perhaps?
It's not a hard, it's not an easy question to deal with.
Yeah.
And the reason is this, that even where there is there is a clear way where liability can be placed on the one, there is also almost always a clear way through which the system can beat that. And this is, if I go back to the question, for example, of the withdrawal of cases by the DPP, those are cases that have, in the first instance, been brought against specific individuals, not just, oh, government did this. But at some point, then they are withdrawn because they are powers that are being exercised, but being exercised wrongly. Perhaps what we need is to now zero in on those who end up exercising the powers wrongly and read the Riot Act to them, because it cannot be. For example, I was dealing with a matter where the DPP had filed papers saying that the court did not have jurisdiction to deal with that particular case. And a few days later, the same DPP withdraws that notice of objection. So what, on the one hand, the DPP is saying is this court has no jurisdiction. So how does he just suddenly wake up and see, no, the court has jurisdiction? Because that's really the purport of the withdrawal. I think we need to move very, very hard and ensure that these people get squeezed. And I'm not just talking about the DPP. There are 1,001 other situations that have the same thing. Look at the situation in the judgment on the Gachagua impeachment, where 50 million shillings is awarded, payable by the Senate. Who is the Senate? The Senate, as far as I know, has never taken in one whiff of breath. It's individuals. But what will happen? Even if I know he has said that he doesn't want the money. If I were the one, perhaps I would want the money. What I'm saying is that there is not going to be accountability until we set up the structures. I think the failure that we have right now is in the structures. And we need to stop, for example, this thing of saying every time that, oh, this is a public interest matter. Now, I'm talking judiciary. This is a public interest matter, and therefore each party should bear its own costs. The principle really is supposed to be this, that the party that has raised a public interest matter should not have to pay costs, even if they lose. But the party against whom the public interest matter has been raised then must be held to account, because a lot of times even those public interest matters result in substantial savings for the party that may have lost, but they should be condemned to pay costs, so that then that message can be constantly hammered into our thinking.
So who bells the cat? Because there seem to be so many moving parts to impunity. And it seems as though there needs to be one center whereby it's saying, come on guys, we've got to get our act together. Who bells the cat?
Well, it has to be a collective effort. And the other day I was speaking to a senior, very well-meaning politician. And I told the politician, I would want to start a coalition of the willing on matters such as this. Accountability, peace for next year, because right now, if you look at all the tweets on X, you really have reason to fear. If you go onto the Nairobi streets, you have reason to fear. If you go into social places where somebody is speaking in a different language from yours, you start fearing. We have been made to feel insecure because the government does not care. So we must take power into our hands. I'm not saying that we do it in an unconstitutional way, but then we had initiatives. For example, in the 90s, there was the Citizens Coalition for Constitutional Change. We had various other groupings. We had a social, a civil society that was vibrant.
Yeah.
Of course, it has been clipped, but then it can still rise, and it can rise before we get into the next elections.